Shalom Israel. This is Isupk. Start off 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Hana, 1969, where we teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that we are indeed the 12 tribes of Israel, lost 12th tribe. I'm Officer Qadash, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, to all my brothers, Yahweh Shemar Alathah, Hashem Yahweh Shai, to all my sisters. We welcome you to Friday night's Lashawan Qadash class that we're going to go over a few things in our Hebrew language and Paleo, as we talked before, and Paleo and Assyrian Hebrew. It's one of the oldest languages in the world. That's what we are. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. We're not one of those knockoff groups out there with the Isupk. If it's not under Commanding General Yohana, it's simply not under the truth. Get a flyer. Get in class. The first thing you can do is join the Lashawan Qadash class tonight. That's one thing you can do. We got classes Monday. We got the breakdown, Bible breakdown. Then we have Tuesday, we have Brotherhood. We have Wednesday, we have the law class. Of course, Thursday, we have different classes in Isupk throughout. And then, of course, you have Lashawan Qadash. We have cyber services. We have the one at cyber service in the morning, of course. And we welcome you to Isupk across the United States. In particular, here we have Isupk, www.isupk.com, South Carolina. That's where we're located here. And join us in class. So we're going to go over, first thing we're going to do is go over a few vocabulary words. We left off on the alphabet, the characters last week. Get things situated a little bit better here. We left off on the characters last week. We found out that there were 22 characters in the Hebrew, in the whole Hebrew writings of what you call alphabet, the characters. That's what it is. And we have 2 vowels. And we'll wait for you guys to join in our chat. We have our Facebook chat up, and we have our other chat that we join. I believe it's YouTube. Yes, we're restreaming, so you'll be able to join us in class here. Trying to get everything level there. It's a little better. So we ask that you join class. Get in class. Troopers, and we'll talk about that at the end of class, how the troopers can join class in Isupk and become one West. The sisters, get your Hebrew name. Become a sister of the Isupk. Okay? Well, we're going to go over some vocabulary like we did, and then but before right after that, we're going to get into some sentence structure. And we're going to talk about, I believe, I'll get into it. We'll talk about a few more things. Let's get into how a man should really, let's do this first word here. Let's do this one. I believe it's Zaquan. Yeah, that's it. Making sure. Zaquan. Okay. That's beard. Of course. There you go. Zaquan is beard in Hebrew. And Zaquan. Zaquan. Of course, we'll be doing, as we do all week in class, we're going to try to use our colors different. In the Assyrian, we use blue, and Paleo, we use red. And the reason for that was when we were in captivity, some of the new students in class, when we were in captivity, I hope you guys can see that okay. There we go. A little better. When we were in captivity, we were thrown the Assyrian language, and the Assyrians captured us in captivity. We've been in captivity all our lives. But before that, we had a glorious language, the Paleo, and they simply pulled from the Paleo language and kept our same characters, but changed the sounds of some of them. The sounds a little bit different, and that to fit their use. but that's what we were. But in the Paleo language, in its purest form, that's what we try to keep it to. So we'll make sure we differentiate that, the difference between that in class. We have beard. As you can see, I'm a man. I mean, it's a law to have your beard. You know, you shouldn't shave that beard. And that's what it is. Now, sisters, of course, you don't have a beard. We'll let you know there's a difference between a man and a woman. And it's his zakwan. You know, you don't shave it. You can shave it down, but you must grow your beard out. That's a law. There's a lot of different reasons, but I don't want to get into that. But the main reason is because the Most High said so. That's the most important. When he gives you an order, and he gives it starting from the top, and our top, we obey that order. Zakwan, wear your beard. You know, all your brothers, wear your beard. Akim. So let's figure out, let's see what that word is. Let's break it down a little bit better in Hebrew. Let's go, let's start off with this right there. Remember we studied last week, Abba Gada Hawazaka. And so I'll find it for you here on the board. If you notice, Za, where it is, there, right there, I'm sorry. If you see Za right there, so it'll be that little lazy Z right there, and the one below it is the Assyrian, right there. So we're going to use that Z, and that gives us Za, and that's what we're trying to spell is Zakwan. So you have to use your characters to spell words, and as you add to your vocabulary, you get more proficient in use. So we'll say Z. And Hebrew is always written, to reiterate again over and over, Hebrew is written from right to left. You know, right to left. That's how you know it's us. It's right to left. And so we start off with the Z right there, or Za, you know. And we're going to say, we have another, we have Qua. Let's write it down a little bit for it, because I got a chance to maybe put a couple in here. Za, Quan. That is a Qua sound. You know, people say it's Q. It's actually Qua. It's two characters put together to make a sound. That's Qua. Right there. Okay? Of course, we're expressing this breakdown in the beard that a man must wear. You know, we're breaking it down. Zakwan. And we're going to show you another thing interesting, too, in a second here, that the Paleo has connectors which help you pronounce and enunciate your words properly. So let's find out what the other sound is, and that will be this N here. See, we're going to have to use connectors, that N right there. So we say Za by itself, okay? Then we have an N. Now the N looks like that. Looks sort of like an upside down N with a little hook on it. Maybe quite not that much, about like that maybe. Okay? It's unmistaken. And that is Zakwan spelled in Hebrew. Okay? Zakwan, beard, that's what it means. And if you see that name like that, you wouldn't give a woman this name because Zakwan is a manly name, it's beard, you know? That makes sense. So we're going to put some connectors on it. And with the connectors that we use to help make this word sound and come alive, to join it together or separate it as needed. That's what the connectors mean. And those connectors, I'll write it down on here. We have connectors that look like this. An upside down U. But that is called an independent, I'll write it out here, independent connector, okay? Just like that. Independent connector, all right? The independent connector, and of course, that will be the upside down U. And then we have another connector. Of course, what do we want to do here? I kind of put it in another color so you can see it a little better. What we want to do here is join the Qua and the Na together. Quan. Right there. To make this word come alive. So we'll use a connector that looks like that. And that's now that word is complete. Za Quan. We'll put it all the way so you can see it all together, all over here, right? All the way over like that. Okay? That is a dependent connector. Dependent connected, of course. There's the word connector. I'll have to write it twice there. Dependent connector. We have independent connector and independent connector. That's what that means. Independent, the sound has a sound of its own. Za. Qua would be, you include this in there. So the qua and the na has to be joined together. Quan. Okay? So we'll let you guys write that down and put it in your notes. Make sure so you can get it down and give you a chance to put it down. Okay, good. All right. I know a lot of people are out finishing up their slavery or finishing up dinner or whatever they're doing here, getting preparation for their Sabbath, for Shabbat. And Shabbai is what we really call it. And Zaquan, that is the Hebrew word for that. That's beard. Okay, and we'll write another word. We'll keep going here before we get into the main topic of the class. Just kind of refresh up some vocabulary for you here. Okay. We'll write the word in class. We'll write the word beautiful. Because I know the women, we have some beautiful women in Isupk. So let's write that word here, beautiful. B-E-U-T-I. I believe that's spelled correct. Let me check it. I think I'm missing an A. Yeah, I am. Never could spell that word correct. Here we go. I'm not ashamed of going back and doing it right. B-E-A-U-T, beautiful. Okay? All right. Now, beautiful, the Hebrew word for beautiful is yapa. Yapa. It's a good name for a woman. You want to call her beautiful, you say ya pa. Make sure I spell it right. Yeah, that's right. Yapa. But we're going to break the sound down. Ya, pa. Okay? Give you a chance to understand that. That means beautiful in Hebrew. We'll break it down in Paleo and Assyrian. We'll break it down in Paleo and Assyrian. Yeah. There we go. Okay? All right, and your pa. Let's break it down. Let's break down how we break that down and how we spell it. It'll be spelled like this. Remember, in the characters that we wrote last week, if we look from week to week, we're going to have different classes, of course. I try to mix it up and do a little vocabulary. We're going to do, sometimes we do the Lord's Prayer, and we'll see how that is. Sometimes we'll do the number systems. We'll get into, matter of fact, I think we'll get in that tonight for your breakdown of how you form a sentence and prepositions and possessive adjectives and nouns, verbs. And I'm not an English teacher, but we'll at least get into that because it'll help you understand the Hebrew. So, you know what? I forgot. Before we get any further, let's break down the Assyrian for this. Let's break down the Assyrian for this word here, Zaquan. Before we go back, I'll get back to here. Okay, Zaquan. All right, Za. So Zaquan will look like this. That's what a Z looks like in Paleo. za, and then of course you have to have a Q, you know. That's what that, let me get out of the way here. Get out of y'all guys' way. If you can see that, that's what a Z looks like in paleo, okay? And of course, you have like this. And sort of like that. Okay, like that, all right? Now something funny happens or something different. I have Dina McCall, my sister, Yahal Shamar, shout out to Dina, coming into class there. I'll put your name down, small as I can get it there. It's using one board tonight. Have Dina checking in on Facebook. Welcome, sister. But we're going over vocabulary, so write these words down and build them up as you're going on and on. We'll go through A, B, C, D, and I'll put another. I'll give a couple A words up there in a second here, but I just chose B. We're starting off with beard. First thing I did was paleo, zaquan. That's what a man wears, his beard, his zaquan. And of course, remember what we learned last week? On this end has a special character going on here. So let's put it down here. It'll look like, sort of like that. Okay? Yeah, sort of like that. The end. Now, it doesn't have any connectors. Let's get back. She's checking in. Dina checking in from Savannah. We don't have any connectors for this series, the language that we learned basically as a language that kind of pulled off the paleo, really. That's all they did, changed it. That's why you see these characters look different. But at the end, the reason why I did that in green, because at the end, if you remember what we did last week, words like the ending characters is called an ending character. We'll write that down here. Let's write it down over here. It's called it, we'll put it over here. Ending character. Okay? Ending character. And if you remember, you know, it's like the na over here, it looked like this. It looked like this. Like that. This was the Assyrian was here. The paleo was there. The Syrian were here, but the ending character in the Syrian looked like that. And that's the one you have to choose, that one right there. Don't want to confuse you there, just kind of wrote that down. And that will be your na. Just wanted you to understand that a little bit. And of course, I'll show it to you. We've seen this last week, so I just want to show it to you that that ending character. So we join it together in Assyrian, zakwana, zakwan. That's something special there. And if you go back and you put in Assyrian, if you would put this in right here, that would be wrong. That would be wrong. See, that's not right. Totally wrong. Why? Because at the ending character in Assyrian, it has an ending character, and some of an in or na just happen to be one of the ending characters. We have ka, we have ma, na, pa, and taza. Those are ending characters. That's what we use. That's why we put these in a note. And I'll reiterate them again. If you see all the ones in green there, that's what they look like. The ka, the ma, and the na. See that character right there? That's the one we're putting on the board right there. That na. That's why we did it. So I'll write it down here again. Looks sort of like this. So like a sideways 7, you know, it's about the best I can do right there. But that's what it is. And of course, the pa, and a tazah in green there. Pa and tazah. Pa and tazah. They are ending characters. When you see a word that ends in pa, tazah, ka, na, ama, those have to be treated with a special character. And in class, I will use the illustration of a green ending there, so you can pick it up real easy. Put it in your notes. Okay? All right? So now let's get back to your pa. Your pa, especially, we have beautiful women in Isupk. No doubt. I know we do. Praise the Most High for our beautiful women. And when you want to say, if you want to call her beautiful, you know, because women are going to need some attention in Isupk. I understand that. You say your pa. As long as it don't go to their head, you know. We say ya. So let's break this word down here. Let's break it down in Paleo Hebrew, because that's what this is, a Lashawan Qadash class, Paleo and Assyrian Hebrew. Okay? Let me erase this so we won't confuse nothing there. So we got the connectors. I'll erase that. All this other stuff here. We got the ending. Okay. That's what you want to put in your notes, right there. Trying to make everything clean for class, okay? That's what you want to put in your notes. So Yah, and then we'll have Pa. Let's see what the Hebrew, what we're going to do for Pa. It looks sort of like a J, sort of like this. Sort of like that. That is a Hebrew Paleo for Pa. That's what we studied last week. Pa. Yah Pa. Make sure Dana and other people in the chat, make sure you guys get a pencil and paper, like I've done since I've been in class. Always get a pencil, paper, write it down. That way you have it. That's for any class you do. Always come prepared. Don't try to memorize this stuff right away. Get your build your notes, build your vocabulary up before. After a while, it becomes natural for you, and that's the whole idea. Okay. So Yah Pa. So far we're on Yah right here. That's the Z looking with a kickstand right there, as one of the officers used to say. Now we're on Pa, but we can't stop at Pa. We have to have the Ha sound. So what does that Ha sound look like? Well, in Hebrew, that Ha sound for Yah Pa is going to look like this. It's going to look like this cone. Like that. It's going to look like a cone, sort of like that. That's Yah Pa. Now, as we talked about it before, we need connectors to make this happen. Dana, if you can remember, put you on the spot here, sister. If you're listening to me, give me the connectors for Yah Pa. You know, that'll be one, or you can write it out, and then Hebrew independent will be 2. So, if you can remember, I'll assist you there. That's how we learn. Dina McCall from Savannah, and a few other you guys that's in the chat that's joining on right now. See, so all the people that's in the chat right now, when we're doing Yah Pa, so what would go under the Yah? Would it be 1 or 2? Would it be an independent sound or a dependent sound? Independent or a dependent sound? Let me know. Give you a chance to look at it. What this does when you participate, it helps you understand it better. So, like I said, what will we put under here? What connector will we put under here? That connector? Or with this upside down? Or will we put a dependent connector? Dana said 1. Exactly right. She's 100% right. Okay, so we put that. Yah. And she's right, because it has an independent sound all of its own. Yah, all of its own. That's what we want. And she's 100% right. That's exactly right, Dana. Okay? Now, what would you think if we're going to do Pa, Ha, Pa? Would that be independent also or dependent? Write a 2 for that one, Dina. Don't forget to use your notes, Dina. If you have to, if you think you got it by, use your notes, or you don't have to. But at least write it down in your notes. Write the stuff down in your notes, because before you know it, you'll be so proficient, you'll have it. You'll have it, sister. All my brothers and all my sisters in the chat, all participate, let me know. Give you guys a few more seconds there to understand it. What do you think was going to go under the pa and the ha? And that's what this is, of course. This is pa, ha. Kind of giving it away a little bit, maybe not. I don't know. But if you don't have these connectors, then you won't know how this word sound. Ya pa means beautiful. Ya pa. So I say ya pa. That means you're beautiful, sister. And of course, when you're beautiful, that means you're going to act like that. You're going to dress modest. You're going to be in obedience to your oh, good. Be in obedience to the brother. That makes you beautiful. And she said 2. She's exactly 100% correct. That's exactly right. You know what? For that, give you a hand. All right? Because she did it right. She's got it exactly right. Yapa. Put that down in your notes. That lets me know you're really understanding when you do it that way. And Dina, she said, to break this word down, ya is an independent sound. And it is. You don't want to say yap, ah. There's another way to say that, but if you said that, you're going to have a whole nother word. If I went over here and said yap, like this, let's say for the sake of illustration, if I say yap, oh yeah, yap, yeah. Of course, I've been facetious. Yap, and then I said ah. It'd be totally wrong. You'd have so much wrong with that. I'm sorry. Let's go all the way over here, because yap by itself, you can do that, and you can have an A, you can have all kinds of things. You have a whole other word here. You actually say, you can say yap. You have all kind of stuff. Then you be joining this together. Then you have to come up here with the A, and then you have to have an H. So you have to have all kinds of stuff going on there. But then, of course, I'm being, a little bit overboard there. Let's go back to what she had. She said, ya, independent, and pa. That's exactly right, sisters. Exactly right. Okay? We'll get a couple more words, then we'll move on to some more, some sentence structure that we're doing in class tonight. Let's go ahead. I'll give you a chance. I'll give you about 10 seconds to write that down if you haven't already. Zaquan, beard, and beautiful. We'll give you a few seconds to write that down, guys. Trying to give you some words that you'll use every day in class, okay? I'm assuming you guys have written that down. Some words that you learned. Okay? I'm assuming you guys have written that down. All right? Here's some words that you learned in class. Of course, we talked about Abba, that's a word, we did that last week, I believe. So let's continue on with the B's. Here's a word that you use, and it's called before. You use that a lot. Before I go, and that is called, let's see, in Hebrew, I think it's lapanya. La, pan, ya. Let me check, see if I spelled that right. La, pan, ya. That's correct. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Let's break this word down in Paleo and Assyrian. Lapanya. Okay? So let's spell it first. La. And sometimes you have to use your vocabulary. You got to use your, the vocabulary that you've written down, all this vocabulary here that we've written down, remember that from last week? And we're building on it. I'm going to make class a little bit more technical here in a second, but I'm just doing some vocabulary so you can understand it. Before you build a sentence, well, you must know a few words or how they're built. You got to have some understanding about them. So we say la, it's right there, la. Then we say pa, okay. Well, let's say that then. Let's say pa. Okay, sort of like, not like that. And then we're going to use a na. Okay, and then we're going to use a little Z looking thing there. Okay, la panya. La pan, ya. Let's break it down. I'll break this one down for you. And if you want to help me, if you want to add it in there, if you want to go ahead and tell me the independent and connected, just write 1 or 2. That's why I leave this up here, so you'll know. Independent means 1, dependent means 2 in our chat. So, if you want to help me out, go ahead and do that. That's what this is for, class for your participation. I'll go ahead and I'll do this one. You could be thinking about the rest of them because this is a little bit more technical word. Lapanya, it means before in Hebrew. When I say lapanya, it means before. So we say la, that's going to be a 1-sound independent connector. Just like that. Okay? La, of course we're doing paleo. We're going to do the Syrian here in a second. But right now we're doing lapanya. Okay? There we go. Lapanya. All right? Pa. There is a sound in here that we have to get out, and it's right here. Pan. Not pan, but pa. So, pan. Not this No, we're not doing that. We're doing pa, which has the already built in it. It's exclusive. But we're trying to join it to the na. So that means we'll have to do this. We'll have to join it. That means depend upon it. Put a dependent connector with it there. Okay, and of course, ya will be 1 sound by itself. Ya. And there you go. That's how you do that word right there. La pan ya. La panya. Okay? Now we have that word. All right? Well, let's do it in Assyrian. Nothing special about Assyrian in particular right here because it doesn't have any ending connector there, or does it? It doesn't. It has ya, and ya is not one of the ending connectors. Remember, it's ka, then it's ma, na, taza, and what's the other one? Pa and taza. Sorry. There's 5 of them. There's 5 ending connectors. Now we're going to do ending characters, I'm sorry. So we'll do this word like this in Assyrian. That's what that looks like. That's the L. That's the L sound. I'll put a little dot right there so it'll be sort of like in the middle. So it won't get confused. La, then we write that, so you can understand it a little better. Okay, write these down in your notes. Okay. You have some that little weird thing right here that sort of looks like this, like that. Pa, right in there. Of course, we're going to have a na right there. We don't need any connectors. And all I'm doing is just translating what I see here over in Assyrian because I know the characters back and forth. And then we have, of course, a ya that looks like this. Like a little bird in the air, up the ground like that. You can't put it down here, it'll be wrong. You have to put it, sorry about that. You have to put it up there like that. And that's Lapanya in Assyrian. One of our old English, okay, Dina? Yes, you understand that. Okay, good. That's that word there. So we'll move on to another, and then we'll go on to something else. This maybe our last vocabulary word. Let's go to a word called beginning. Let's go to beginning. Like in the beginning, Genesis 1:1. So let's do that. Let's find out how beginning. Okay. Ra'ash Yaf. Ra'ash Yaf. Well, let me just get another pen, so. Ra'ash Yaf. Another. There we go. Ra. Ash. I believe it's Yaf. I think it is. Ra'ash Yaf. Yeah. Ra'ash Yaf. Very good. So we have Ra'ash Yaf. Let's break this one down. Let's break this one down here. Let's do paleo. Let's break it down here. Ra. Okay. Like that. That's how you do a R in the Hebrew language when it comes to paleo. Ash, Ra'ash. So we're going to do this. You see an ah here. So that means we got to do this. We have to say ah. Although the H is not here, we still have to carry that full sound. Ah. Then we have sha. Well, sha is like this. Okay? That's this. Although the A is missing. If you put that A there and you put that H there, you have a whole nother word. Ra'asha. Ra'ash. Anyway, it's Ra'ash Yaf. Then, of course, we put the Y here, or get that out of the way there a little bit. The ya sound look like this. Well, like this. Okay? Like that. Then, of course, we have tha. Like that. All right? Let's wake up, chat room. Let's break this down. Where does connectors fall? On the Ra, Ra'ash. Let's break it down a little bit. Ra'ash Yaf. Ra'ash Yaf. Ra'ash Yaf. Ra'ash. Now, some people can say you can put a whole dependent connector on it, a whole thing like that. Well, I guess you can if you wanted to. But let's just break it down like this. Let's say Ra'ash. Ra. And then we're gonna put let's go with this right here before I do that. We're gonna put Ya and Tha. Well, let's what do you think, Dana? Break it down for me. Independent, do we say Ra? Ah? So let's go ahead and put Ra, Ash, Yath. What do you hear? Well, I'll tell you what I hear. Correct me. Ra, and then I hear Ash, and then I hear Yath. Ra'ash, Yath. Ra'ash. The reason why is because you have to take this A sound here and join it with the Sha. Ash. Put in the chat. If you believe this is correct, put yes or no. La'a are the word, of course, you guys know the words for yes and no. You put either Khan for yes or La'a. Is that correct or not? What do you think? In your way of sounding that word out, Ra'ashyaf, it means beginning. In the beginning, Ra'ashyaf. What do you think? Does that look right? Ra'ash Yaf. Because you got an A here and it has to be joined to the Shah, so I join them. But you got an R, a Ra, Khan. She's put Khan. Very good, Dan. I believe you. I agree with you. The reason why is because, let's break this down here. Because there's a reason why. That's very good. Adrian, John, she said Khan. Very good, Adrian. So you're both right in my estimate of this word. Because after all, it's about how it sounds. Let me write Adrian down, because I know she always checks into class. Okay. And so the reason why Ra'ash Yaf, the reason why I put an independent sound, connector over the Ra is because over here, if you didn't, you have Ash. You want this to come together. So you got to say Ra, then you got to say Ash Yaf. You have to do that. In other words, you have to break this up like this. Ra, then you got to say Ash. Like that. There's the Ah sound right here. Right there. That's the Shah sound. It's missing the A, and sometimes it does. It's missing the H over here. That's okay. But we join them all together right here. Ash. So that's why Ra has to stand by itself. If it didn't, you'll have a jumble of word. You'll have Ra, Ash. I don't want it to sound like that. I want to say Ra, Ash, but I don't want to say Ra'ash. Ra'ash. I don't want to say Ra'ash. I want to say Ra'ash Yaf. Just like that. Ra by itself, one sound. And Ash Yaf. But if you say the whole word, Ra'ash Yaf. Of course it sounds together because it's supposed to. That's because of the connectors. But the key is right here. You must put that A and that SH together. If you didn't, you'll have Ra'ash. Ra'ash. And that would be wrong. So you have to say Ra'ash Yaf. So that's very good. And we'll go over here and put, let's finish it up in Assyrian. Just write that in your notes so you'll have something to go on. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. So write that in your book. Write that down in your notes. Write that down in your notes. Okay? Let's write in Assyrian what this sounds like, what this looks like. So all we got to do is come over here in Assyrian and do this. We say R, sort of like that. That's sort of like a R in Assyrian, Ra, like that. Okay? Then we have, that takes care of the Ra. Now we need an A sound, Ah sound, I'm sorry, like that. That's what an Ah looks like in Assyrian. That's right here. Then we have a Shah. It looks the same, only it's a little bit more squiggly. I guess maybe they were drunk that night, the Syrians, when they finally took our letters and did that right there, you know. Because it looks just like this, little squiggly lines, but that's what it, that's what it looks like. And then now we have Ra'ash, then we have Yah. Of course, we'll always have the Yah up in there. It looks like a little bird flying in the air like that, okay? And of course, Tha. There are no ending connectors. Since there's no ending connectors, that's what that word looks like in Assyrian. Now we'll move on, and we'll get into some, let's get into something I haven't done in a while. Let's get into some prepositions and possessive adjectives. Let's get into that real quick here. We're moving along in class real good, I think, and I may come back to vocabulary. I may do some numbers on here. From week to week, we have different stuff. In the beginning, I was going to go to Genesis to translate that. I may do that next week, because I may need some more board too. But anyway, we'll give you a chance, guys, to write that down. Let's write it down in class right there. 22 characters. Now let's get into, we're getting ready to get into some words here that have a meaning that will give a possessive adjective and what did I say? Possessive adjective and prepositions. We're going to find out, we're going to form them and find out. We'll give you a chance, guys, to write that down. I'll give you about 10 seconds. Okay. All right. So I'm assuming you guys got that written down, okay? All right. All right. Now let's do, we're going to do what we call possessive adjectives. Let's go, we'll write a little bit words at a time. Possessive. Let me spell this word right. Let me spell it right here. Oh, man. There we go. Possessive adjectives. And then we're going to have what we call prepositions, okay? And prepositions, okay? And we're gonna throw some words in here that we do every morning in our Sabbath class. You know, we do a little Lashawan Qadash. We have to read out of Tanakh. We're going to do a little bit of the Lord's Prayer here. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Qadash Hayeshamka, Yahweh Malach with Ka Thaba'ah, Razakaya, Ratazakaya. So we'll get into that right now. We'll have, let's write it down. Let's go with this one right here. Abba, Nawa. A little bit more technical class, okay? Abba Nawa, all right? And Abba Nawa means what? It means our Father. So I'll write it and down here underneath what it means. Our Father. Our Father, okay? And I'll be racing as we go, so pay attention. And that's what we're doing. Possessive adjectives, like I said again. We're no longer doing vocabulary, so we need that. We'll free up the space for room here. Well, let's go up top here. Let's do this again. Sorry about that. Abba. Need as much room as we can. Abba. Nawa. Okay? It means, in Hebrew, Abba, of course, is father. So right Hebrew right to left, so we're going to say our Father. You know, when the Most High taught us to pray, let's find that. Let's find that Lord's Prayer. I believe it's in Matthew 6, I believe, isn't it? Let's find it. Let's find Matthew 6 chapter. Let's just go to it. He taught us how to pray instead of praying out in the corner on the streets and stuff like that, like we're supposed to, trying to be hypocritical. You know, we'll say our Father. Let's find out where it is. Let's see. It says, okay, here we go. Here it says. Let me read it for you guys. You can find it in Matthew the 6th chapter. Let's find it. Okay. It says, because I remember being at camp one time, we saw a guy over there in North Carolina just praying over there praying, oh, shut the ISUPK Hebrews up, not knowing that he's breaking a law. He was one of our people, but he's not one of our people. He's not an ISUPK. He's one of the tribe of Judah, I believe. But anyway, it says, but when thou prayest, this is Matthew chapter 6, verse 6. But when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, not on the street, enter into the closet. That's what it says. So one of our officers correct me, said, see? Enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret. And thy Father which seeth in secret, He's going to reward you open. You don't have to toot your own horn, pat yourself on back. Let another man speak of you. So you don't need to be out on the street trying to give all the respect to yourself, trying to help me. You don't have to do all of that. That's what the Bible says in Matthew 6 and 6. Then it says, verse 7, follow along with me. Matthew 6 chapter, 7 verse. But when ye pray, use not vain repetitions as the heathen do, for they think that they shall be heard for much speaking. Don't use vain repetition. Be not, verse 8. Be not ye therefore like unto them, for your Father knoweth. Yahweh knoweth. He knoweth what things ye have need of before you ask of him. Now this is Yahweh Shah talking here. It's in red. See? After this manner, therefore pray, our Father, Abba Nawa, our Father. That's in verse 9 here. And that's what we're going to get into here. We're going to get into the Lord's Prayer. The Most High has given us to understand the ISUPK, to break it down in Hebrew. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go, our Father. Let's write these words down. Abba Nawa. Okay, if we got time, we'll translate them out. And then it says, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, or holy be thy name. So let's find out. Let's find out what this is. Let's find out how we do this. Awanawa, Shabbat Shemayim. Shabbat Shemayim. Okay, let's write it out here. Shabbat. Well, I'll leave some room there, I guess. Shabbat. I believe that's Shamayim. There we go. Shabbat Shemayim. Now, we're going to teach you a word here in Hebrew. Let's find out what this is. Let's find out what's going on here. If you notice, in Hebrew, Nawa means hour. That's the first thing we want to learn. Nawa means hour. You'll find that in your, once you write these notes down, it is called a preposition, is what it is, really. But this preposition over here, I'm sorry, it's a possessive adjective. I apologize to you. It's a possessive adjective. Why? Because it's possessing the noun here, father. Whose father? Not anybody's father, not somebody's father, but our Father, Yahweh. Yahweh. So we say our Father, and that will be called this over here, this Nawa will be called a possessive adjective. That's what it's called. Okay, right there. That Nawa. Because it's giving description and giving the possession of the noun over here, which is our. Now, I don't claim to be an English teacher, just follow along with me. And then we have Shabbat Shemayim. Now, Shemayim is heaven. We got a whole lot of things going on here. That word right there actually literally translates to heaven. Okay? So, Shah is a possessive adjective also. It means which. All right? All right, let's go. Which. which art in. Which in heaven, sorry. Which, our Father, which in heaven. Like that. And heaven is Shemayim. So let's find out the Father, which where? Where is he? In the house, or is it down here walking on the street? No. He's in heaven. That's why we say Shabbat, Shemayim. And of course, in, if you want to say Shah is which. It is a possessive adjective, and let's see. And it also, you can use it as a preposition. You can use that word right there as a possessive adjective. In this case, we're going to use it as a preposition because it comes before the word Shabbat. And of course, ba means in. Like that. That's how we get that. There we go. That's how we get these words. So we don't just come up with any kind of word. We want to know our Father. Nawa is a possessive adjective in this case. So we use it to modify the noun Abba. And that's exactly what it's doing. Shemayim means heaven. Right there. In is ba, so we put them in front because the preposition, we say Shabbat. Shah, it preps this in and the whole heaven. Which in heaven. That's what we want to say. Not on the street, we want to say which in heaven. Where is it? Shabbat Shemayim. That's what we do. Okay? So, in our understanding, then we want to say Qadash. Now, let's see in the chat. See if you guys remember this word right here. Qadash. What does Qadash mean? Now, I know you guys, you probably know it. I don't know. Help me out here. Qadash. What does Qadash mean? We'll wait for you in a second here. Before I write it down, I'm going to write it down in red right here. What does Qadash mean? Tell me what it means. Give you guys a second. In the chat. What does that translate in Hebrew? Qadash. What does it translate to? Our Father, which in heaven. And if you follow along, okay. Adrian said, which one, Adrian? Now, Shemayim is heaven. But I'm talking about Qadash. I didn't want to mistake you. We're talking about this word right here. Qadash. Heaven is Shemayim. I'll write it down right here. When you say Shemayim, you're actually saying heaven. Okay? So let's go back and rethink that one. But when we're saying Qadash, and you can get your Bible, you'll find it in Matthew, the 6th chapter. I believe, let's see, where were we? Let's see, where would that be? Holy, okay, there you go. Verse 9. When we say Qadash, what does Qadash mean in Hebrew? Not heaven. You're right. Heaven does mean Shemayim. So let's move it on to the Qadash. What does that word mean? What does Qadash mean? Okay. And you can look it up. You can, like, if you had your Bible and you go through Matthew, the 6th chapter, the 9th verse, it will say something there. Which art in heaven, you'll see that, heaven is Shemayim, and which Shabbat Shemayim, that's what it means. That's a preposition for Shah. And in, okay, that's what which means, Shah. Okay, so what does Qadash mean? In other words, it's right here. Matter of fact, it's right there. What's the name of this class? There it is, right there. So what does Qadash mean? We'll give you guys a second. Okay. Let's find out. Let's see a little bit of understanding. In other words, Qadash. What does that mean? We give you guys about 10 more seconds here before I go ahead and write it out. It's right up here, right in our title. All right. Okay. We'll give you guys about 5-10 more seconds, then we'll let you guys ride that one out. Okay? All right. We'll ride that one on out. Okay. Well, actually, what it means is this. It means this. Holy. Qadash means holy, and that's why, of course, it's written in our title, Lashawan Qadash, holy language. So when we say Our Father, and we'll put it up here on the board. Let me put that title up here so you guys will know. It's in Matthew, the 6th chapter. Of course, we'll go with verse, let's see here. But you're right, heaven to us is Shemayim, the Qadash. We'll say about, but when I pray, he taught us to pray. And when I pray, we'll say 5. We'll start at 5. That's the Lord's Prayer. We'll start at 6 and 5, and we'll go on, of course. But that's how you do it, okay? Qadash. So we have Abba Nawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Qadash. Let's put a word called Hayah. Let's find out what Hayah means in Hebrew. Hayah. We're doing the Lord's Prayer called, what we're doing is going over prepositions. Nouns, verbs, we're going over the prepositions and the possessive adjectives that will help us understand here. Okay? Hayah. Sorry, right there. Hayah. Yeah, like that. There we go. And I'm going to tell you what that means. Hayah means be. Holy be. Holy be. And then we're going to say, of course, we're going to say Shamka. 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 And of course we learned, and if you write some of these words down, the reason why we're doing these words like this is because this is part of your vocabulary also. Shamka means your name. So if I say Shamka, your name, that's all it means in Hebrew. Okay? That's what it really means. We'll give you guys a chance there to write that down. So far we have Abba Nawa, our Father. Not just anybody Father, we're talking about Yahweh. This is the world creator. This is our Father. Abba Nawa. Not my daddy or your daddy. This is somebody we have to respect and adore. When you say Abba Nawa, you got to understand what that really means. It's Abba Nawa. It's our Father. Yahweh. In the name of Christ. Bashem Yahweh Shai. Christ. So we said Abba Nawa. Shabbat. Shemayim. Because we said heaven is Shemayim. And also heaven can mean waters also. But we'll get into that in another lesson here. And the Shabbat, the preposition for that, Shah, which. Shabbat is a preposition that we can use for which in heaven. But we want to make sure we differentiate what Father this is. This ain't just anybody you can just go up any kind of way, pray on a street corner, and think you got it, Right. No, this is not how we do that. We don't pray on the street corner. That's what, let's read that again. Let's read that. Let's make sure in our understanding. When we make sure you just don't read this on the corner, because that's what the hypocrites try to read on the corner, trying to get their little reward, And let's read from the top, verse 6:1. Y'all follow along with me in the chat. Matthew 6th chapter, verse 1. Take heed that ye do not your alms before men, to be seen of them. You have to go in your closet. We're going to discover that a little bit. Not just to be talking out on the street saying, oh Lord, trying to make yourself look good and all high and mighty. This Bible says, take heed. In other words, watch out. Talking to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Right. Anybody else, we don't even care what you do, really. We're talking to our people. Okay? Take heed that you do not alms before men, to be seen of them. The Christ is talking about, he's addressing his people. Otherwise, ye have no reward of your Yahweh or Father, which is in Shemayim, heaven. That's what this says. Okay, let's read verse 2. Follow along with me, people in the chat. Therefore, verse 2, Matthew 6, King James Version. When you doest thine alms, do not sound as a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogue. We know what hypocrites do, and how they deal in the synagogues and in the streets. They get this. That's what people used to do back then. They grab all the other customs and want to sound like them, blow a trumpet in the street. I'm this. I'm almighty. I'm sitting by the gate and I'm strong. The Bible says do this. Do not sound a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have the glory of men. So that's what they're trying to get, the glory of men. We don't want to do that. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. Verse 3, but when thou doest your alms, okay, when you're ready to give, let not thy left hand knoweth what thy right hand doeth. Then thy alms may be in secret. So what are we going to do? How do we pray? The Most High says, and the Father which seeth in secret will reward you openly. And he says this. He's correcting us here. Verse 5 says, when you pray, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the corner of the streets. That's right. You see them standing on the corner of the street, all you can say is raise your hand and say, thou hypocrite, that they may be seen of men, for verily I say to every word. But when I press, go into your closet. Now does this literally mean go in your closet? It could. Go and be solitude by yourself and pray to the Most High. If it takes going to a closet, you got to have 10 children in the house, you need some solitude, then literally go into a closet, But I've heard it break down like that. But if you have to, if the best thing is just saying go in privacy and do not be on the street is what it's really saying. Okay? When thou hast shut the door, pray to thy Father which in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret. Guess what he's going to do? He's going to reward you openly. And that's what we do. We write the Lord's Prayer. That's how he wants you to pray. That's why he said, do it after this manner. Our Father, Abba Nawa. That's right. Our Father, Abba Nawa. Bashamayim, Shabashamayim, sorry, it's like it. That means which in heaven. Holy, Qadash. Adrian, when you wrote down heaven, that's right, you're exactly right, heaven. And we're gonna add to it, we're gonna say holy, Qadash. That's all it means. Shamka, Haya, be your name. That is something to say when you say Qadash, Haya, Shamka. You're saying to the Most High something so important. That's like holy be your name. This is like a glorious thing that we say. When I say that, again, it's like chills, man, over your body. It's holy and adoration. So we only to reverence the Most High. Mm-hmm. Holy be thy name. I'll find that for you in another class where it talks about that, about reverence. You supposed to reverence the Most High, not just men on the street. So holy. That's why we make a difference in the Lord's Prayer. That's why he told us. Yahweh is saying, by Hashem Yahweh in the name of Christ, he's saying, holy be your name. And that's what we're breaking down here, the Lord's Prayer. Okay, let's continue on. Let's break it down in Hebrew here. If we have time, we'll translate some of those into Paleo and Hebrew, but what we're doing right now is breaking the word down so you'll see it. Shamkai. Write this down in your notes. That's what I've done since I was a trooper, probably since I was a young man. So that's what you want to do. You get your name in Hebrew. And not just that, you want to learn the Hebrew language. So let's do this. Let's say Shamka. And then we want to say Yahweh. That's that. Remember that Most High we've been talking about right here? Now comes his name. Matter of fact, I'm going to use a whole nother color. Let's use a whole nother color for Yahweh. Let's use a whole nother color. This is who we've been talking about. Yahweh. You see? That's who we're talking about. You ought to make a big difference between him. You just don't take this name lightly. So, who is Yahweh? Who is that? Well, let's find out what this says. Yahweh is actually, we'll go back to the red color here so you'll understand in Hebrew, it means the Most High.
That's right.
The Most High God, you would call him. The Most High, or really, it just means the Most High. You know? The Most High, Yahweh. You know, so let's read it again. Now how does this read? Abanawa, our Father. Of course, we know how to break this down in Hebrew. You guys go on classic classes, and we have time, like I said. We'll do a little bit of this, and we don't have chance to break it all the way down. We'll make an extended class next week. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, holy what? Haya, Shamka, Yahweh. That's a big difference. Okay? So let's get it. And then it says Malak with Ka. Let's break that down. Let's break what? Let me get this other pencil here. Malak with Ka. Let's find out what that is. Malak wa Ka. Oops, we need a TH in there. If I can find room there, put it. Ka. There we go. Yeah, jumbled up. We don't want to do that. There we go. Okay. Malakha. Now, what does that mean? Does anybody remember? Well, let's break it down for you. Let's see if you guys remember. If you read along with it in the in Matthew 6, 5, and on, all the way to 9, and so on, Malak with Ka means something. What does Malak mean? We guys give you guys about 10 seconds here. We'll give you a chance to participate in class like you've been doing. And I appreciate your participation from time to time, week to week. It lets me know that you guys are actually learning. It lets me know what to teach from week to week in Lashawan Qadash class. Malak. What does that mean? Malak with Ka. Malak with Ka. Because we're going to put a preposition, and let's go back. Let's put it this way. Let's do this. Malak means king. So we're going to say the kingdom, waf, oh, I wrote that down backwards there. Sorry about that. Whose kingdom? Your kingdom. Not mine, but the Most High. So let's put that down here. Let's put down why we do it this way. Okay? Let's break down what these prepositions are so we can understand, give a little bit of understanding to this. King. So we're going to say wa. Okay, here we go. And ka. These are possessive adjectives. Ka means your. I'll put it up here. P-A, okay? Malak waf is kingdom. King is Malak. So when you put waf with it, now you're saying kingdom. But whose kingdom are you talking about? That's why we put ka. That's why it's at the end of the sentence, end of the word, pa. It's a possessive adjective.
That's right.
So, Malak waf ka. Your kingdom. So we want to specify and make sure that y'all, there you go, Dina McCall, that's right, exactly right, sis. Kingdom. That's exactly what it means. You got it 100% right. You and Adrian and a few others, yes, you got it exactly right. That's what it means. Malak waf is kingdom. The reason why we put ka on the end, because we have to identify whose kingdom that is. If I just put Malak waf, that can be Qadash kingdom, but no, la. No, sir. We have Barala Banath Yahasha from where is that? From Texas, okay? We'll put your name down here in the chat also. Bara, okay? From Texas. Bara Laba. Okay, very good, sis. Glad to have you in class. So going back here, let's review what we've got. Abba Nawa, our father. Nawa is a possessive adjective. Whose father? That's why we put Nawa, because that's what is the definition of a possessive adjective is. It's our, that's what it means. Our Abba, our father. Shemayim, heaven. In, well, that's the word for that is ba. But we're going to put Shabbat, that means which in, because that's a preposition. And prepositions generally go before the word, before the whole word. Which in heaven. Then we have a word called Qadash. And that's what this class in. It means holy. So this prayer here is telling the Most High Yahweh that you respect and adoration, that you adore him. So that's why I'm saying, Awanah. Shabbat Shemayim, Qadash Higher. So we won't be out in the street corners preaching and teaching. Trying to pray like the hypocrites, standing up. We go to our own closet, go to our own place, okay, somewhere where we can be private. So he gave us this prayer that we can do. This is like an order, really. So it says, Haya, be, who, your name. That's why he say Sham Ka. All these things mean something. Sham is name. Ka, there's Ka again. If you look at it, that's another possessive adjective. Why is it a possessive adjective in Sham? Because it's holding possession to this noun over here, which is name. Okay? So when you say Ka on the end like that, it's a possessive adjective. So look in front of it and you'll see Ka, it means your name. And of course, that's why we're going over this. That's why we're doing this, because these are possessive adjectives. These are nouns. The water, sir. Yes, absolutely, sis. From Yashashakar. All right, that's very good.
Yashakar.
Yes, absolutely, sir. We have all kinds of check-ins in here, and I'm glad of that from week to week. Yeah, absolutely. And then Sister Barala, Agent Dina, and a few others. Savannah and Texas. Shamka, your name. See, we got to be very explicit and careful how we say the Most High. And then we say Yahweh. Then that opens your mouth wide to say Yahweh, Most High. See, that's why he's saying this. He's teaching you how to give respect to him, so you be in order. That's what this whole thing is about, being in order. Having the Most High, Lord's Prayer is order. That's telling you, it's telling you how to pray. Really, that's what it's saying. So you won't be a hypocrite. We'll give you guys a chance to write that down here. Write that down a little bit further, and I'll write one more line before I have to erase it. That's why I leave it on the board. And again, with Isupk, start off 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I'm Officer 50. Sakshapar. We're in class. We want you to write this down. We have people in class, and we have people online, and we're teaching. Lashawan Qadash every Friday night. Like I said, Monday you'll have the Hebrew breakdowns. You'll have Tuesday. You'll have the brotherhood classes. And that's across the United States. And here in South Carolina, Isupk, it's no difference. That's what we do. We break down. We're authorized. We are the Most High, the priests and prophets of the Most High. So we're authorized to teach this Bible. That's what we are. Okay? And then we have Wednesday class. What's Wednesday's class?
Law class.
Wednesday class is law class. That's right. I said it before. Wednesday class is law. And then Thursday we have other classes around that are breakdowns. And then we have Friday class, Kazakh Shapar. That's why I am priest and officer 50. we teach Lashawan Qadash. So join us from week to week. That's what we do.
We are the Israelite school.
We're the Israelite School,
Universal
Practical Knowledge.
Started on 1 West.
Started on 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Command and General Yohana.
If you're not under command of General
If you're not under Command and General Yohana,
you are not
authorized to teach the truth of the Bible or Lashawan Qadash, period. If you're not under Command and General Yohana, not none of these knockoff groups out here, you're not authorized. You're wasting your time. Get in class. I applaud everybody for getting in class and being under authorization under Command and General Yohana. One of the students under Command and General Yohana, so I'm authorized to teach the class. So that's what we're doing today. Okay? So let's get Malakukah. Let's finish on. Let's do some more of the Lord's Prayer here, because we're going to talk about, when we're talking about prepositions and the beginning. Prepositions and possessive adjectives. This is something that I learned a while back here. Thought I'd go over this. I'm going to try to be relevant to class and give different thoughts so we'll understand the Hebrew language, the Lashawan Qadash. Okay? Let's see. Let's find out where we are. Malakukah. And we're going to say Thaba'ah. Let's find out what Thaba'ah means. Because if you follow along with me in the Bible, you'll understand what this comes already. Thaba'ah. There's another pencil here. Thaba'ah, that's right. And it means simply to come. Okay? Your kingdom come. Use red here. Your kingdom come. All right? There we go. Thaba'ah. We're going to say Ratazaka. It's your will. Let's see. Let's put you have to change colors, because I want you to understand. That's the reason why I'm doing it in different colors here, so you can see it, so it won't be so mundane there. Ratazah. There's that tazah. Remember? That's another. These are all we're doing is putting together characters to make words. That's all this is. Ratazah. Then put an H there, I believe, and it's Ratazah ka. Spell that right. Yeah. H. And we put a K-A right here. Okay? Now, Ratazaka. Ratazaka put, it ain't anybody's will that we want to put. We want to put the Most High's will. How do you know that this is talking about Ratazah? It's your will. Because we see that ka again. There's that possessive adjective, ka. And that's why we call it. It's your will. Okay? The Most High's will. Ratazaka. Okay? That's what it means. And we're going to write Hayah over here. We'll discuss that in a second here. Like I said, if you follow that, simply means let's find out. What is it's on the board here. I want everybody in the participation of the chat. Tell me what this Hayah means. The answer is right in front of you. It's on the board. What does Hayah mean? We've gone over it. See what you think it means. See if you guys paying attention to it. So far, we put Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Qadash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakukah, Thaba'ah, Ratazaka. So what does Hayah mean? Somebody tell me. Give you a chance to participate. We'll give you guys about 10 or 15 seconds here. What does that mean? What does Hayah mean? I know you guys have participated in class, so that's why I'm just making sure I'm trying to keep you guys in understanding as we go along, so we won't lose you, so I won't, Okay, Baralabah said B. That's very exactly right there. That's exactly right. You're right, sis. It means B. Of course, we have it up here already. up here. So we have it twice. It's a word that we use be, stands on itself. And if you notice it, writing all the prepositions and adjectives and nouns, that's what this is for. Okay, Malak means king. There it is right here, because we know it means king, because there it is right there. And if you put wath with it, it's kingdom. And of course, there's that preposition again, ka. So be. Be, you're right. All right, okay. All right. All right. There you go. So, your kingdom. That's what we did, Malafaka. So, Haya. Let's see what comes after that. Haya. Then we say Asha. Let's write this word down here. I got to use it in black here. Okay. Baba'a. Haya. Ratazaka. Haya. And then we want to write the word Asha. And then I have to erase the board. Of course, we got some time here. We'll go as far as we can. Asha. And Asha simply means done. Now, if you haven't upgraded your notes yet, go ahead and do your notes. That word doesn't have any prepositions, and it's just a word that stands on its own. You get what you're doing here is you're getting your vocabulary build, you're getting your possessive adjectives, you're getting your sentence structure here. So when we go on to make sentences, because you can actually do that from these words and from all the words that I've given you, and build on your vocabulary. Okay. So give you guys a chance to write that down as we continue on. Was that Abba Nawash? Shabbat Shemayim. No, by now you guys should know what heaven means. Shemayim. Qadash, holy. Haya, be, we've written it plenty times here. Shamka, well, Sham is name. And Ka, we want to do Ka over here, is yours. So that's why we say Shamka. Your name, not your name, not Kazak Shapar, but the Most High. And that's what it says. Yahweh, Most High. Let's don't get it twisted. The Most High's name. That's what this prayer is about. Malach with Ka. Okay? There's that Ka again. We use Ka plenty of times here. It means your kingdom, because Malach Wath is kingdom. Then we have Thaba'ah, come. Your kingdom come. Ratazaka, your will. See, and if you notice, like I said again, you see these characters? They're making words. Ra, to Za, you join the H and Ka. Matter of fact, I may write the translation on that one in a second here. And then you have Haya, there it is, a B, and then Asha, your will be done. Okay, let's write before I go on here, let's do a little translation here on Ratazaka. Let's write it in Paleo Hebrew. Remember? Write along with me if you want and check yourself as we go. Ra, and then we have Tazah. That little T with a little Z stuck out to the side right there. That's what that is. Ra, Tazah. Okay, that's what we got right here. Then we want to put an H over here, so that H has a ha sound. Okay, it has a ha sound. You can't forget it. You have to put that in, or it won't sound right. You can't say Ratazah ka, Ratazah ha ka. So here we go. Looks like a little comb. Ratazah, then of course, okay, that's Ra, Tazah. Then of course we want to use Ka. And there's, all you have to do is go to your board, look at Ka. Ka looks like this. With a little bird in the middle, little C, like that. So let's find out. Ra, Tazah. The word is actually looks smaller than what it is, huh? And then of course, your will, Ratazaka. Ratazaka. So let's put some connectors on here. Ra, I want you to write down in the chat if it's yes or no. That's, remember, Khan or La'a. Am I doing this right? Let's find out. Let's put down here. Let's put down here. Okay. Let's see if I want to see if you guys pay attention. I'm gonna put the connectors up here, see if you can see it. Am I doing it right? Ra to za ka. Let's see if did I do that right? Ra to za ka. Did I do that right? Put kan or la'a. That means yes or no. Kan is yes. La'a means no. Did I do that right? You let me know. I'll give you guys a chance to write it. I'm doing translation in Paleo Hebrew. We'll write down a Syrian in a little bit. I just want you guys to understand what you're looking at, see if you're paying attention to me. Right there. Like I know you are. We'll see how close attention that you're paying. Ratazaka. Did I do the trans? Okay. Baral Laba said yes. Dina said yes. And okay, we'll give you a chance for some more to respond here. Did I do it? Did I do the connectors correct on that? So far, y'all say yes. Okay. You tell me. Make sure you can see it correct here. Like that. There we go. Did I do this right? So far I got 2, 3 here, cons. That means yes. Did I do this correct or not? Take a good close look at it. Give you guys 15 more seconds here. Ra to za ka. Did I do that right? Get 10 more seconds here, guys. We'll check it out. We'll make sure. Got our scholars over there. I know it's thinking. I know you're thinking hard over there, guys. Adrian said, "Con, all right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's make sure. Let's be unanimous. Let's get them all in there. Give you guys. We give you 10 more seconds for that matter, since you guys are thinking there. So far, y'all say yes. I did that right. That means I got independent, and a dependent connector on the end there. Let me know. Did I do this right? Okay. All right. Let me explain it to you. Let me tell you what I did. Now let me do it another way, and then I'll check myself here. See if I did it right. Bara, here you go. Bara Laba said la'a ra to zaka. Okay, good. And she would be right actually. Actually she's closer to being right. And I'm gonna tell you why she is. It's not a fallacy and things, it's just about learning. Okay? The ra. So let's write it again here. Let's just write this again. Let's put B up here so we have some room. Okay? Let's write it. Let's write ra. Okay? We know that stands independent connector, just like that. Okay? Ra. Okay? Now let's get over here to za. To za. You want to put to za right here, like that, and this comb, that little ha sound, you want to make that a connector. In other words, it has to be like this. Just like that, okay? It has to be a dependent connector there. Why? Because we're saying ra to za ha. Hear that H sound on the end of that? Right there. I'll do it just like that. We're talking about the word your will. We're breaking it down how it sounds. Okay? Okay? Less time independent. Okay, I got you, sis. Okay? And then we'll break it down right here. And then the last thing you hear is ka. And that's independent sound. Right there. That's how it's done. But I'll give you guys, okay, now there's a difference between this one and that one. I did that purposely just to, not to trip you up, just so you can see that these connectors mean something in Hebrew. Okay, so we're writing, let me make this R look a little better, look like a 4. It's kind of like what it look like anyway, but, all right, there, okay. Ra, let's break it down. Ra, by itself, independent connector, okay? Ra, and then you want to say Tazah is one of our characters, but Tazah has an H sound, sound over there, ha, it has to be connected. That's why you connect them, a dependent connector. Ra, Tazah, hear it, Ra, Tazah. That's what it's trying to say. If you didn't do that, the word wouldn't sound right. And the last thing you want to put Ra Tazah Ka. Ra Tazah Ka. And the last thing you hear is Ka. Ra Tazah Ka. Okay? And that would be the correct one. But you know what? You know what I'm going to do? Give you guys all applaud. A for effort. Because I know my students over here are thinking. That's what it means. Okay? That's all it means. And of course, I kind of tripped you up a little bit. Just remember, and here's the lesson to be learned. How much time we got? We got a little time yet. Here's the lesson to be learned. I'll write it over here. Ta, za, and an H there. You got to complete. Tazah actually is by itself, but the H over here tells you to join it together. Ra Tazah. If you didn't do that, it'll look sort of like this. Ra Tazah, then you have ha ka. That's totally wrong. That would be totally wrong. There you go. Give your hand. Yes, give us hand claps. That's right. That's right, sister. All y'all students that have done correct here. And that's what I'm saying to you. Is the correct way to write it, of course, is Ra Tazah Ka, Ratazaka. So you got to remember that H is put there for a reason, so you know the real way of understanding it is Tazah is a sound of its own. So is H. Now you don't normally when you don't see an A, like you have an H over here, and you know that's supposed to be HA. It's taken off for a reason. That means it's getting ready to join something else to make a character blend, and the character blends that we call them. As a matter of fact, in the character blends that we call them are called dependent connectors. Ratazaka, Ratazah, Ratazah, Ratazaka, Ratazaka. That's what that is, and that lets me know you guys are learning. Very good. So let's see. Do we got time now? Maybe not. We're going to finish up next week on that. Let's see. Where was I at? Ratazaka, yeah. Because we don't have enough room to do this. Your will. Haya Asha. We stopped off on Asha. And we'll get into the earth, and by Ratazah, we'll get into that again, and we're going to come back next week. But we're going to continue on in class. I'm going to let that step on the board just for a second and go over it. I don't want to go over anything else. Confusion. I just want you guys to understand the purpose of doing this. Like you got possessive adjectives. We even have ra. Like if you look in your notes, we have ka as or like, or you have ka also for your possessive adjective. So you can use that ka pretty on both for the prepositions and the possessive adjectives, okay? You can use ha, and I'll give you, for instance, nawa is our. There it is right there. Wa, when you see wa, it's going to say and. La'as, not of course. Ha, when you see ha, it means the. So write these down as I'm saying it so you'll understand a little better. When you see I, it means I or am, okay? When you want to say his, a possessive adjective, you say wa. Want to say her, you say ha. Want to say our, it's nawa. So those are possessive adjectives, and so on and so forth. You want to, and we'll get into plural. Next week, I believe we'll talk about plurals, and we'll do plurals, and we'll finish Lashawan Qadash. So, but right now, I want you guys to be writing that down. as we go on. Okay. I'll erase the top here, so we'll write something else. I think you guys about got that, but the bottom half I won't erase unless you're telling me not to. I don't see it in the chat, so I guess you're good. Okay, and of course our topic of discussion today is Matthew the 6th chapter, the Lord's Prayer. So I'll erase this and to blend along with that, we're learning prepositions, nouns, verbs, possessive adjectives, and vocabulary all in the same. It's a great exercise to learn from. So that's why we did that. I'll erase the front line there, so we get some understanding. Okay? And then we're going to get into some longer words next week. I mean, kawab, nawa. And just remember, we're using that nawa again, remember? Let's put that one down here. What did I say nawa mean? Give you guys a chance to write that one down and understand it. What does nawa mean? Give you some understanding of that. What does nawa mean? Because we've used it here a few times. What does nawa mean? It's a possessive adjective. I'll give you a hint. It's a possessive adjective. What does nawa mean? It means something. We wrote it down in Hebrew. Abba nawa. What does that mean? What does nawa mean? There we go. Give you guys about 10 or 15 seconds to do that. Abba nawa. What does nawa mean? It is a possessive adjective, and it means something. When I wrote the word Abba nawa, just give me a chance there. And it's a possessive adjective. That's what this is. Possessive adjective in Hebrew. What does nawa mean? Our. There's your baralaba. She says our, and she's 100% correct on that. As far as I understand that, it is a possessive adjective. That's what it is, a possessive adjective, which means our. Okay? Let me see if I can give you another one here before we go. Still got maybe, see if I can give you another one. For understanding, let's see. I'm gonna do let's see. Yeah, okay, oh yeah, here's one. I know we did that one last time, let's see. Well, we don't do that one. Let's see. Let me find one that I can do. Okay, here. What does, let's get one here. What did we say sham ka mean? And like I said, that is a possessive adjective, ka. What does sham ka mean in Hebrew? How is that to be interpreted? What does it mean? Write that one down. So far, y'all so good. So far, you, Dina, Baran, everybody, Adrian, y'all got it right. Our. So what does sham ka mean? The last word that we do tonight, then we'll conclude the class, and next week we'll be talking about some more. So of course, I'll finish the Lord's Prayer, but I'm not going to get it. I'll get into something else even more challenging than that next week. Okay? But the last word, what does sham ka mean? Okay? And of course, ka is a possessive adjective. Your name. There you go. It means your name. Okay? That's exactly right. So you all can give yourself a round of clap there. That's very good. Glad you participated in class, but that's what it means. And of course, next week, we try to do classes join in with the ISUPK throughout the week. We'll be doing different classes. Don't hesitate to www.isupk.com. Under Command and General Yohana, that's what we teach, Lashawan Qadash class on Friday. Okay? We'll get into the security announcement here at ISUPK as we conclude class. The ISUPK started off with 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for the new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head, that's our camp leader, to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. So get yourself in class, to our class, that's right, thank you sister, I appreciate that. And head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8 and 10. It means 10th in Hebrew, Ma'asherah. And Asherah means 10 in Hebrew. And of course, we have Ma, you have to pay attention to that one. Of the 10th. Ma. Okay? Ma'asherah. That's what that word means when we say it means 10th in the Hebrew. That's 10% of every penny or increase the Most High gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teachers, priest fund, free will offering for priests. It's not mandatory, but whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations, that would be
Day of Atonement.
the Day of Atonement, which is coming here this Saturday at 7 o'clock.
Say sundown.
7 sundown.
Saturday sundown.
Saturday sundown
Sunday sundown.
to Sunday sundown.
24 hours.
24 hours
Fasting.
fasting.
No
So
water.
no water,
No eating.
no eating.
The only ones who are
The only one who are exempt from no water, no eating are
pregnant women
the pregnant women
and brothers and sisters with ailments
and brother and sisters with ailments
and children.
and children. All others come fasting. And that's pretty much the conclusion of our class. Of course, we have other, we have Purim, that's later on, and
Feast of Tabernacles.
the Feast of Tabernacles, we'll talk about that next time. The Feast of Tabernacles, the 5th day of the 7th month, the 8th day, Thursday, October 1st, Friday, October 9th, before sundown. Of course, that's Leviticus 23:34. Then we have the Feast of Dedication? Hakakana. That's in December 9th. We'll have that also later on. And it is the 25th day of the 9th month by the space of 8 days. Wednesday, December 9th, 2020. 8 days. First Maccabees 4 chapter 52, 61 verse. The Maccabees, that's in the middle of the Bible there. That's one of our books. And then we have Purim there. It's the 14th day of the 15th day of the 12th month. They'll find that in February of next year, of course. 25, Friday, February 26, 2021. That's in Esther 9, 20, and 31. And we had a Tawab class, as you say. And the last thing I'll say is, Shalom, Most High in Christ. For that we say, Shalom.